give you some backstories. And honestly, I thought, what better place to start? And if you've been paying attention to me, especially for those of you who are newer to me, Ghostbusters is a mega, mega, mega huge love for me. Ghostbusters literally changed my life around, was it 2015 or so? I just still don't know exactly how it happened, but like boom, one day I was a Ghostbuster. So as I was kind of teasing in my last live, and since Doc isn't in here today to make some amazing calls with us, I'd try to fill the void a little bit, but I also wanted to take this opportunity to kind of archive some of this stuff visually, and maybe if you have any questions about any of the stuff or anything like that, you can just ask me, and then maybe I can tell you, and then it'll be fun or something. So I'm going to kind of wait a second and see if we can get a few more people joining in here before I really get into it, but I won't wait too terribly long. As you can see, we got the Lego Ghostbusters Ecto 1 here. I did put an extra light kit in it just because, like, I like flashy lights and sparkly things. Like, I'm a cat at the end of the day. If you can see this is a Lego Ghostbuster Firehouse. That shit took, yeah. See, I told you, Maddie, I was going to believe just like putting Legos together one day on a live. But that Lego right there, the Firehouse, I can't remember how many pieces. It was an expensive set, but it took me about 20 hours worth of build time. Like, I had to spend several days, and like there was one day I sat down at the dining room table and just had all these parts out, and I sat there for like 10 hours. Like, no exaggeration, 10 hours. So yeah, I think it definitely has, it opens up, it does a lot. It's not just that this can have a light kit, but I haven't put it in there yet. But you can actually park an Ecto 1 in there. It does fully open up, so you have all the cool little nifty gadgets and all the things you'd expect to see in a Ghostbuster Firehouse. So it was worth the build. I've actually moved houses a couple times with that, and I personally moved that one. Like, I'm literally walking out of the house with it like this, and because forever in my head I'm just seeing that thing crash. That's why it's always got a good platform underneath it. Like, it ain't, hopefully it's not going anywhere. That's the hope. This isn't Ghostbusters related, but big fan of Back to the Future as well. So if you know what this is, as I'm not going to tell you what this is exactly. I'll tell you, obviously you know it's from Back to the Future, but what is it? Hope everybody's having a good hump day. I said, I'm just killing time, so I figured what better way than to just kill it with y'all while we're waiting. Hey Teresa, I saw you pop in. I'm going to be stalking. This little magic device you might be seeing over in here somewhere, it's called a Zenko. I put extracts in there. I think I can say extracts without getting a violation. And this little magic thing atomizes it for you. And it looks really, really cool. And the fun thing too is when I take the little wine glass off, like, you can, it's like, I can just play with that for like days. And then you can just, I mean, you got to go pinkies out. If you know, you know. So we'll see if we get in trouble or not for that one. I keep kind of trying to push boundaries a little bit. I've noticed certain words, like now I understand why Doc was really, really careful about saying certain things and using certain wording. Because even the last live, I still don't know what the hell I said, but I was talking and all of a sudden, pop up on screen, age restriction. I still don't know what I said. I'm sure it was very controversial and horrible. Yeah, I'm definitely a rebel. Who is Shavo Odajian? Maybe that was the one, Laura. Maybe the B word. Yeah, I need to try to, like, I use elevate and lifted and stuff like that, but I'm gonna have to get really creative because that's a big part of my life. Like, even as like a hobby, but also professionally. So it's kind of hard to not say certain things and phrases. I try to be cognizant and I'm quick on my toes, but like, man, it's a challenge sometimes. Because even there's been times too where there's been words or things I posted on other social medias. Oh, excuse me, that one was a little heavy. Woo. And I didn't even think about it, but like the algorithm, like it catches a keyword on that label or something else. And I'm like, the hell, I wasn't even trying to do anything. I'm just like taking a picture or a video of my life. So, all right, so I'm not going to ramble anymore. I had a mission today. And again, I'm not going to get into everything that I have Ghostbusters wise, but I wanted to show you a few of my treasures if anyone's interested. If not, then maybe you'll become interested. Like I said, I'll give you a little backstory. Around 2015, I got out of the Air Force in 2012, and I became a defense contractor for about 3 years. I did not love that world. Let me change this track too. It was a little repetitive. I was making really good money, but I sat in a big room by myself. I was a trainer for the base, and I did some other things for the servers and stuff like that. But like the base didn't really utilize it. So in 2015, me and two other bases had the program canceled, and we were laid off like pretty quick. Around that same time, I got about 2 years worth of back pay from the VA for my disability. It took them a while to get my rating. That's when the VA was just like all in every flux ever, and it was hard to even to get the VA to talk to me on things, get appointments, so on and so forth. But around that same time frame, I can't remember who was president at the time. Maybe still been Obama. I love Obama, by the way. I don't get political, but I'm just gonna tell you I love Obama. You can leave if you want to if that bothers you. But something happened, and they like put some pressure on the VA. Like they were stepping on the VA's neck a little bit, and all of a sudden things started going in motion to me. And then they referred me to civilian doctors to get all my exams and all that stuff done. And like every civilian doctor I went to was hella clutch. My psychiatrist they sent me to, this dude, I can't say too much, but he was very kind to me and understood my situation. So anyway, once that all got rolling, I got like 2 years worth of back pay from the VA. And I was like, I'm just going to take the summer off. You know, like I want to be a kid again. I want to spend like summer vacation, like the whole nine. So I was able to financially do it. But like in doing so, I found too that I was getting a little like just bored. I found myself like going to Walmart just to walk around and stuff. And like I feel like it was a couple years old. Like I kind of had it for a little while, but my wife got me this flight suit. I mean, I had a couple flight suits in the Air Force, but she got me this one specifically. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, Ghostbuster. And so like slowly over time, I started like putting pieces together. I didn't know what I was doing. I was never into cosplay really. I mean, I like costuming around Halloween. I was always into Halloween, but I didn't know what I was doing. But the cool thing, what's up, Mary? The cool thing was, around that time, Mattel started coming out with an adult toy line, and so I was able to get like the PKE meter. I don't think I have it down here at the moment. I just used it around Halloween. I've never brought stuff back in, but anyway, so it kind of gave me a couple more pieces that looked a little more legitimate, and I really got more in there. I mean, I always liked Ghostbusters, but I really like kind of had like a second coming of it, and like almost a second childhood with it. And it really resonated with me, and I was able to. I didn't want to be Peter or Ray or when I wanted to draw inspiration from them, obviously, but I didn't want to be them. I wanted to be Panda. So I got a name tape that says Panda, and then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Over time, the Ghostbusters probably would have had other organizations and stuff. They would have had. You know, they would have customized their gear a little bit. Like, not everybody's going to have the same shit. Everybody's going to, like, some people going to roll their sleeves up like this. Some people might roll their sleeves up like that. Like, there's always going to be tiny iterations. And that was one thing I found when I got into the cosplay community, at least then. Now I think it's changed a little bit. But early on, I was one of the only Ghostbusters because it was not a cheap habit to have at the time. And it's still not super cheap, but it's a little more affordable with 3D printing and things. But there was a lot of people that wanted to be more like screen accurate was what people thrive for. And I was like, no, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do different, like, so I started rolling up my sleeves, and that was uncommon even. And I started putting my hat on. Like, I just started customizing myself. And if you actually see him here, I'll show you. There you go. There's me. That was when I was in my, coming off my alcoholic state though too. So look that gut. Don't do too much booze, kids. But yeah, so that was me. I got a 3D scan of that. So I started wanting to do kind of my own thing. I feel like all Ghostbusters would be kind of doing their own thing. But in doing so, I was able to like do a lot of charity work, get into Children's Mercy hospitals and help out with kids and things like that. Got to go to a lot of cool events, shoot commercials and stuff, and get access to some really cool things. So like I said, I'm just going to start talking about some of these things here just to show you a few of the cool things. This is a 1 of 20. This is a custom-made piece by a dude called Jumbo Nugtron, which that name alone is cool. It's based off like an old, I think it was a soap dispenser or toothpaste dispenser. I have to look into it. But he basically did a mold of an old one and redid it and made it look like it was, you know, the high C ecto cooler thing. As soon as I saw the packaging and everything like that, like I was all in. Mary, I'm a big fan too. I don't collect everything, especially like everything Ghostbusters, but there's certain things that catch my eye, especially like one-offs like that, or not one-off, 20-offs, I guess, but stuff like that that's so unique. And only certain people are maybe going to recognize exactly what it is. But plus, like I said, with it being like Slimer in itself and then almost like the ecto cooler kind of a thing, like I love that. Where did it go? Did I move it? I've been moving stuff around, forgive me. But I've got a few examples of the ecto cooler containers and stuff over the years that I have in my collection. So yeah, I love all that stuff. This, one of my pride and joys. I got a few animation cells. This isn't going to be all of them. But here's Janine and Slimer. I got this at a convention. I was just walking through, and there was a guy, and he had just like, I need to clean this up a little bit too, it's a little dusty. He had just like fucking crates and crates of animation cells, but they were all like assorted. So you kind of really had to like dig through the crates. And it was one of those things. He told me that his parents somehow got all these animations. I'm talking He-Man, She-Ra, My Little Pony. Like a lot of your 80s favorites were in these crates. And these kids inherited them. And their parents didn't know what to do with them. And the kids were like, well, fuck, we'll just go around to Comic-Cons all over the country. We'll set up shop and we'll sell some. And it was literally like, how much would you give me for it? And I always try to give people reasonable offers on things. Like I try not to rip people off too much unless I just don't want it. Then I might lowball you because you're not going to take it. Which is, you heard me explain last live. That's how I got this house. I wasn't planning on it, but yeah. So he ended up giving me some really good deals, and I'm going to continue getting into those. I've got one of my favorite ones upstairs. I'm not going to get it right now, but it has all four of the fellas. Goose has joined us again. Goose, please don't fuck my laptop up. So here's another one. I like this one too because it's Janine and Egon. Obviously, Rip Egon, you know what I mean? But another same kind of deal. I was talking to him, and then I got that one with the four boys together, and then there's the Ecto one in the background. And like those are one-offs. That's an animation cell. There's not two of those specific ones. So I will treasure those. And then it gets better. He had some original sketches too. So I've got a Stay Puft sketch from the real Ghostbusters. And then I got this one too. I don't really remember this episode, but I like this one too because it has a lot of people in it. So it's got most of the Ghostbusters in the background. Thanks again, Goose. Get off of there. Go. Go. And there's some little monsters down here. I have to go back and research which episode. It may say on here. And then there was there's a lady over here, but I don't know who she is. It says number 40, cut 108, 115. Goose is all about the attention today, isn't he? Hi, Andy. Welcome to the show. I'm trying to just kill a little space today since Doc's not around. He's dealing with some things, I believe, today in like the real world. Gross, right? I don't know why I'm talking to the screen. I'm reading the screen, but y'all are up here. I need to talk to y'all. Goose, will you talk to them? Will you go give them some hugs and kisses? You're close. You got to turn all the way around, though. They want to see your face. It's something about the coffee and the chocolate, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, squirrel. So I'm talking about Ghostbuster stuff. If you're just new here, I should have just wore my whole get up so you could see it all, but here we are. Leave my damn shit alone. Cantankerous Cat. That's what I should have called you. CC. Cantankerous Cat instead of Goose. A couple years ago, too, there was I'm trying to remember the name of the Cryptozoic was doing trading cards, and some of them, they had actual autograph cards. So this was, you know who he is if you're familiar with the Ghostbusters. He was in charge of like the EPA out there and was trying to shut the Ghostbusters down, Walter Peck. So this one was an actual pull of mine. I got so lucky. I'm opening packs. I think I bought a whole box of them because I was just like, we'll run the fucking odds. We'll see what we get. Thanks for bathing, Goose. I'm sure they want to see that too. But yeah, I actually pulled this one, and I think I might have jumped through the roof just a little tiny bit when I saw this one because he really is kind of like the ultimate villain. Like he's a great villain in whatever movie he is. And this isn't my best piece, but it's one of my favorite pieces because I really had to work to get this one. It was hard to find because there was only a very, very few of these. I don't even know the number, but I know there was only a select few. This person was also featured in Ghostbusters 2 and is one of my favorite musical artists. Blessed that soundtrack so hard. Has a little cameo as a doorman. Mr. Bobby fucking Brown. So this is like one of my favorite pieces in the collection just because I love Bobby Brown so much. Everything he did on that soundtrack was awesome. And it's fucking Bobby. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this cat's my guy right here. He does love me. Now we're going to get into a little more story, but don't worry, there's visual aid to go with it. It's a couple-parter. And then I'll segue into the I guess the finale. I won't keep up. Cat, I swear for Cuervo, if you don't, you'd swear he never gets attention, right? So let's just jump into maybe that's are you fighting me? My cat is fighting me on my live right now. Tune in. Can I say that? I don't want to get. Hey, sir, that's still me, even if he's small. Okay, it's kind of adorable if I'm being honest, but. What are you even doing? Leave it alone. I'm just going to leave. I'll just leave it to the Goose Show now. It's the Goose Show. All right. So anyway, you just don't you knock it down. Don't you do it. You son of a goose. All right. Yeah, it was about to go off the edge. I sensed it going that way. He don't normally do this. He's putting on it. I think he knows I'm talking to y'all, so he's like, I need some attention too. Daddy's giving attention to somebody else, so. I'm going to cover part of this. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to too well. Shit, how am I going to do this and show y'all? Okay, I'm thinking about it way too hard, I think. But a few years ago, I had a very, very unique opportunity. And, you know, the weird thing was I had another event planned as a Ghostbuster. It was at a church. It was for Halloween. And then, or it wasn't Halloween, it was our Harvest Fest, which we all know what that means. And then, like, last minute, they decided to cancel on me because... they didn't feel like a Ghostbuster would be appropriate. I'm sorry. I don't care what religion you are or anything. If there might be a potential for ghost around in Halloween, you don't want a real Ghostbuster? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. But as a result, another opportunity just rolled into my path. Dude I know named Will, he owns Elite Comics up in Overland Park, Kansas. He somehow over time, and probably gets through the comic world, became friends with DMC from Run DMC, Daryl McDaniels. And I don't want to go grab it off the wall, but I've got a big giant autograph poster over there, but I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. Anyway, he was having him in the store for a signing, and boom. Ghostbuster to Panda from DMC. Now, the story behind this is... And like I said, there's more to come on this. I don't want to spoil it all just yet. I'm at the comic book shop, and I'm just like waiting. And there was, you know, probably 20, 30 people in front of me, which is, I mean, for a comic book shop of that size and just for any signing, like that's a pretty good turnout already. I mean, obviously DMC has some pull. But there's two people in front of me, a gentleman about my age or so, and then there was a young man with him that was his son. His son was like 10 or so. And the son's just kind of confused as to why there's a Ghostbuster standing behind him. And he's not like confused like, why the hell are you here? He's just more intrigued. And he's looking at all my gear and equipment. And as we're talking, you know, I'm talking, trying to engage with him, because that's kind of what I do anyway. I'm letting him play with like the PKE meter. And like, because how many times did the kid get to play with Ghostbuster shit? Like, I would have lost my mind as a kid. So I'm letting him play with that. I'm explaining what all the stuff does. And anyway, I explained that the guy that your dad's in line to see, he had music on this soundtrack. So like, to me, that's always been a big part of my life. Like, I had the songs on this soundtrack memorized in and out. So I really wanted to get him to sign this for me. I was going to get him to sign a comic book and a couple other things too while he was there, you know, from his line. I didn't want to just be like, hey, just sign this because I'm a fanboy. I wanted to support him, but I also wanted to see if he'd be willing to sign this. So I get up in line, and it was more than I can imagine. I was riding solo, so I wasn't thinking enough to have anybody take pictures and stuff for me. I think I did get a video of him signing it. I'll have to go through my archives. Maybe I'll find that and repost that too, just so y'all can kind of see it. And it was amazing. And I was just kind of taking that moment to thank him for everything he's done in hip-hop. Because if you know me too, I'm big into hip-hop. Run DMC was huge, huge, huge. Some of the first rhymes I remember and was trying to recite and everything else. So like Ghostbusters, Run DMC, all that was huge. Well, I'm walking away, and I'm literally walking away like this. and just smiling. And I did have a couple people I knew there that were friendly with me. But as I'm walking away, I'm in my own world just staring at this and this signature from one of my heroes and like replaying the moment in my head because I can't fucking believe that just happened. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear this voice that just breaks the air, and I come out of my little like haze and I hear, Ghostbuster! So I turn around. Daryl fucking McDaniels, DMC, is waving me back to the table. So I like come running, proton pack on and everything. And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, hey, my man's here, was just asking about the music because he saw you had this. And I was trying to remember the lyrics, but I can't really remember the lyrics. He's like, is there any way you could help me out? And you have two things you can do in this moment. This is what we call fight or flight. Now, a big part of me was like, motherfucker, run! There's no way you can rap in front of DMC. But then there was the real me, the true crunk Panda, and he was like, you fucking got this, bro. And I don't even really remember exactly what happened. I think I just said something like, bet. And the next thing I know, I'm going like, I remember the time I visited the grave. My life on the line. Only my life to save. And as I'm like flowing along with DMC's own words, I'm starting to see him suddenly recall it. And he's like literally spitting his own verse with me. Nothing in the universe could prepare me for that moment at all. Nothing. I did get a picture of him, like me posed with it, so I do have a picture of that later on. But then later on, he remembered me. It was like a year later. I was at another comic convention, and I wanted my wife to meet him because I just had such a great experience. He's one of hip-hop's greatest fucking teachers, and I wanted her to just meet him because, I mean, obviously, who's not a fan of Run DMC in some capacity? They're legendary. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The list keeps going. And as we walk up there, he looked at me again, and I was just in regular clothes. He's like, Ghostbuster! And I was like, everything in me, I felt it. I was vibrating. I glowed. And DMC knows me as Ghostbuster. And that will always be really, 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 really cool to me. And thank you, Jenny. That sweater that I had on, especially in the Vanilla Ice video, if you've seen it, if you haven't, please go check my page and see me rapping Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, in my Ghostbusters Christmas sweater. My good friend Jen Dent got me that. Me and her were big together on Vine. That's kind of how I started moving up in social media to begin with, was Vine. And she sent me that sweater randomly, and I look forward to the holidays every year so I can bust that bitch out. So, DMC was amazing and all. How does one top that? Can they top that? Especially in the Ghostbusters world. Like, that's pretty tough to beat. But I did it. I fucking did it. So, again, a couple years later, through some just weird circumstance and miracle even, the University of Central Missouri, which is physically 10 minutes away from where I am now, no matter which way I drive, I could probably walk it in 15 to 20, they decided they were going to host a little mini comic convention with Whiteman Air Force Base, which is also about 20, 25 minutes away from here. One of the guests they land, Mr. Ernie fucking Hudson. Mr. Ernie Hudson, Winston Zeddemore from Ghostbusters, literally in my backyard. I worked for the university at the time. I was a guest at the convention. I was invited to be a guest. I've guested a comic convention with Winston Zeddemore of the Ghostbusters, a.k.a. Ernie Hudson. And that still, to me, blows my friggin' mind. So I got him to sign this too, and he told me he believes he is the only person, and he brought it up, that has a signed copy with DMC and him on the CD, the soundtrack, whatever you want to call it. So that's always a special one to me. But wait, there's more. I had him sign that first, and then I realized, like, I'm not done here yet. Like, I got emotional after that, because this was Winston was my favorite Ghostbuster. He was a true leader in my mind. If you go back and watch it with like adult eyes, I think you can see it a little bit more. He was the heart, he was the soul, he's the one that kind of kept it all together. But I went back and I was like, I'm probably not going to have this opportunity again. So I did what any wise man would do. And I went back. And I pulled off my proton pack. And the batteries are about to die, so I need to replace them. I'm going to have to get up for this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there you go. Shut up. There we go. Sorry, it does need replacing. Now it's going to play the music. The music worked just fine. I don't know how well you can see it. There we go. Panda, I've seen shit that'll turn you white. So I've got a picture of Ernie Hudson, aka Winston Zeddemore. After he signed my pack, we're both holding the pack together. And that, my friends, was like the greatest Ghostbusters day of my life. So yeah, that kind of that's some of the mini collectibles and stuff I got along the way. I obviously a huge Ghostbusters fan. I was able to turn that into a lot of things, things that helped me personally, things that benefit a lot of other people. Like I said, I started getting really big into charity work as a result of doing all the Ghostbusters things. The first event I did was through a group called CASA, which is Court Appointed Special Advocates. And what they do is for children who maybe don't have someone to speak up for them, who are in various systems for the states and things like that. These are people that go to court with those kids and have their back and stuff like that. So the first one was a 5K, and I went. And as soon as I started seeing like the reactions of people and the conversations I was able to have with people, because through that, and for those here from Doc's page, you know a little bit about how he does, and I'm kind of the same way. Like my jokes, the Ghostbusters, all that is kind of designed to get your attention a little bit. But then I want to have that conversation as to like, hey, yeah, I'm a Ghostbuster, but I'm here because. And then you can be informative about things. I've never been a real preachy one. I've never been one that tries to like drive a sale or force donations and stuff. But like, I like to let people know about things that I care about and give them the opportunity to help out if they want to. So that's always been a big thing for me. And I was able to start that through CASA. And then luckily after that, Children's Mercy started paying attention to me. And they invited me to come to the hospital. And doing through that, if you go on to, I encourage all of you to, this is a big one that's important to me. So if you have time today, I need I just ask for 10 minutes of your time. I don't really ask people to do anything too often, but if you got 10 minutes today, go back to my profile page on here, wherever the link is up there, and there's a link tree in there, and you'll see a link that goes to a YouTube, and there's a video in there about why I do this. And it'd be a lot easier for you to just watch that, and I think they did a better job telling the story, and you'll understand a lot more why I continued with Ghostbusters, why I got into charity work further, and even why today, like every year, I will make sure that Children's Mercy gets something for Christmas, no matter what it is. It's something very near and dear to me. But yeah, if you got a few minutes today. I don't think I think it's about 7 or 8 minutes, but there is in my link tree. Please go check it out, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. If you're so inclined to donate to anything there, you're welcome to as well. Again, not required, but any money I get through like the donation pages and all that, or selling a shirt or selling a hoodie, all my proceeds go directly to Children's Mercy, or sometimes another worthy charitable organization, usually something that's 501c. But like this year we did Shop with a Cop as well. CASA again, Children's Mercy, all three of those got some love. And I couldn't be happier, but I couldn't do it by myself. It's always the support of a friggin' army. And going back to Doc's side, that's why I kind of stressed earlier too, like you can do a lot with a few people. You just really need a few motherfuckers in life. I know some of y'all may have seen that meme, but you really do. You got a few people that truly ride with you. And they believe in you, like you can make magic happen. Like when I was at the peak of doing a lot of that charity work and able to do more through Ghostbusters and get out more without the COVID restrictions, we literally would load up a U-Haul with gifts and take it to the hospital. And like that, I don't do that. Me and 400 people do. I just am lucky enough to be somebody that gets to sit here and talk about it a little bit more and then thank everybody, but like it's a lot of like-minded people that make it all happen. And there's a lot of people too that see where their real heart is in the best way, and they'll just drop off some money or a donation, and they don't want nobody to know about it. And that's always been a magical, beautiful thing to me, especially around the holidays. I think a lot of us have been in positions where we may have needed a leg up or a little bit of help or something, and maybe somebody volunteered, and maybe we didn't know how to ask or whatever else. But I know I've benefited in those situations before. I know I've been in need before, and so now that I'm in a position to help others, even if just a little bit, like I take full advantage. I'm a big believer in paying it forward. I'm also an abundance guy as well, just like Doc. I believe that there's enough out here for all of us. I don't believe in competition. The only person I compete with is myself. So I think we can all get along in various ways. I don't expect the world to be perfect, sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops, but I do believe we can all thrive together. Like if I'm eating anybody around me is eating. I'm that type of dude. So like I love that through these last few years, especially, that people have been in my life that same way. Because I've had some people that have absolutely surprised, was a spoopy, that have absolutely surprised the living hell out of me with donations. I think it was the first, maybe the second year I did the donation drive and was letting people kind of know what I was doing and what I was about, that I got a 4-digit donation from someone that I just kind of knew, was just an acquaintance. But it quickly became apparent that they really enjoyed what I did in their content. I really helped them in ways that I could have never thought about. And y'all do the same for me, honestly. And I think Doc can stress that too. Like, I think we all help each other out at the end of the day. You know, like we come in here, we're able to talk about, like, this is kind of a little bit of therapy for me, even though I'm not trying to be therapeutic. Just getting up and talking and having this engagement and seeing you guys. Thanks for all the love. It's nice, you know. And so when you find other people that are like-minded and want to not just be around you, but like actually help you, and they want absolutely nothing in return, like that's it. Like, I understand why during Live Fest sometimes Doc would get overwhelmed or be like, dude, why, I can't believe you sent that, because I remember getting donations and just being like, yes, thank you. I could see like the smiles on kids' faces, but at the same time, like, it's almost like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody did that. Like, you almost feel bad, you know? Like, it's a weird thing. And I don't mean that in like a horrible way or anything. And I don't ever want to make anybody feel bad for their donation. But like, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's just, it's a disbelief, I guess, in a weird way, but in a good way, if that makes sense. I don't know. And then there's the inverse, which I want to stress this too. There's always people, and I love you so much, and I'm not being negative. I want to stress this, and I want to be so sincere when I say this. That's why my tone's changing a little bit. There's people every year that will come to me and tell me, I wish I could do more. I wish I could donate. I love you so much. A penny, a share, a like, you telling your friend what we do, that means so fucking much to me. I've said it before, like, people that come into these live, all of y'all that are, how many of y'all in here? 13? There's 13 of y'all in here right now. Y'all rocking with me? That means the fucking world to me, because that means 13 of y'all are taking minutes out of your day, out of your whole entire life, and dedicating it to whatever's about to come out of my mouth. Like, that means something to me, you know? So I think that's kind of important to remember. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. I get kind of emotional about shit like that. Oh yeah, so the shares, the likes, and all that, like that, it still helps. Just because you don't, maybe you can't or don't even want to maybe financially help somebody out, I get that. I've been there too. Sometimes I can't do what I want to do. I'd really like to give sometimes, and I fucking can't. Or sometimes I want to snipe somebody on that gift just to be a troll maybe. I don't know. It's just shit like that, but I just can't. I get that. But just having people come in and spending your time with me, like that's worth money. Time is the most precious thing. So the coins, the dollars, all that stuff, that's fucking cool. I'm not saying I don't appreciate it, but your time is fucking priceless. So I appreciate anybody that rocks with me on that, because I'm going to try to give it right back, you know. Oh, Bev. Bev, I need to talk about Bev again. I don't think I've really talked about the aftermath of Bev. And thank you, Spoopy. I see that too. I don't even try to be amazing. I just try to be me. And I found out over the years, apparently when I'm not trying to be somebody else, I'm my best me. Because I think for a lot of years I was kind of, I don't know, trying to fit a mold or you know, being in the military, you have to kind of act a certain way. And I didn't really know who the hell I was until about 5 years ago. And I'm still figuring it the fuck out. So keep that in mind too, kids. I'm 45 years old. I'm still figuring shit out. Don't be in no fucking hurry. And don't let nobody tell you you're too old for this or you shouldn't do that or fuck them. We all develop at different rates. We all have different likes, insights, life goals. What's important to me may not be important to you. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Bev, no one told me that was going to happen. Or if they did, my friend here, Mr. Sippy Cup, did not let me hear it, because I just remember we were kind of cutting up a little bit, me and Doc were, and then all of a sudden Doc, I literally thought he was going to go take a nature break, so I'm like, shit, I got time to kill because there's still a battle going on. I think he just started a battle. And the next thing I know, I'm talking to Vanessa. Love Vanessa. But like I've never really like directly engaged with her. So like at first I just kind of felt like I don't know what to do now. I don't know what's happening, but I've got like 3 minutes to fill at least because there's still like battle time left. But luckily, the cool thing about Vanessa and her amazing personality is I think she can talk to a stranger just like there are no strangers. Like me and her can probably just talk to anybody just like Doc can. So like it was insane. That's how I felt with Doc too from the jump. Like how comfortable I felt with her and how just easily I was able to. And next thing I know, I'm talking about makeup with Vanessa. I do makeup, don't get me wrong, but I have never in my life got on a live or a video and started talking about Ben Nye and Mayron. But suddenly I'm comfortable enough to just start like talking about all the makeup tricks I learned from drag queens and how I use Mayron to do Hellboy. And so that was kind of dope. Morning, Sheila. Morning, Mel. I think we're all having doc withdrawals via, for real. 54 still learning, Jason. I feel that too. But yeah, so Bev, as I'm talking to Vanessa, I look up in the corner of the stairs and I see this like, and they were telling me Bev was doing something, but I wasn't still registering it because I didn't know the plan. Turn this back on. And all of a sudden out the corner of my eye, I just see Bev coming out down the stairs in like a fucking moo-moo with the wig and everything and just kind of like slowly coming up. And when I tell you, I lost my absolute mind. I sat there and I laughed and I was trying not to laugh out loud because it was late. And I was also trying not to like take over the chat with my laugh, but I was like stifling laughter. Cheers. The whole friggin' time because like I just wasn't ready. Clearly Bev was. Bev just got right into it. And next thing I know, Bev's telling me tales about Neil Diamond and how Henrietta's throwing her unmentionables at the stage. And I had no choice but to. I'm glad that happened because that's like it was a good improv moment, you know? I haven't done anything like that, been put on the spot in so long. And every time I watch it back, I friggin' laugh. So I'm really, really glad that happened. There was some good moments. Some highlights of that are posted up on my page too. There it is. There's a link up there. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Oh yeah, her giblets were out there. Excuse me, I'm trying to get my breath back. That one was a woo. Ric Flair almost came out for a second there. Speaking of Ric Flair, is anybody here a wrestling fan? That's one of my other favorite things. What's up, New Glow Nikki? All right, we got some wrestling fans. I'm trying to see where it's at. I may have took it to the office too. I got a Ric Flair autograph somewhere with me and him. Yeah, I met Ric Flair a few years ago too at a comic convention. But I think I took that, I may have it at the office. But I'm a big AEW fan. I go to AEW shows every time they're in town. And so every Wednesday, you won't find me on live. Or actually, maybe I'll try doing live tonight. Maybe I'll have like wrestling on in the background and I'll just talk through it. Come here. We got a goose. We got a goose. Goose is back in the house. Say hi to Goose. Or say hi. Yeah, shit. Say hi to everybody, Goose. He's still obsessed with Baby Yoda. This started the last stream. Why are you wet? Have you been drinking water? I hope you've been drinking water. Either that or he's been swimming in the toilet. Are you a toilet kitty? So this is Goose, the legendary Goose. I don't remember what I was talking about before. There we go. Say hi. Say hi. He's probably going to mess with us again in a minute. A second ago, he tried to knock down Mini-Me. Goose. I don't remember what I was talking about before. There we go. Say hi. Say hi. He's probably going to mess with us again in a minute. A second ago, he tried to knock down Mini-Me. There, we back? He did something. I don't know what he did. I think we're back. Hopefully. Sorry about that. That was technical difficulties by Goose. No, come over here. Yeah, I want them to see you because you did that. That wasn't me. He was jingling and jangling some kind of cable over here, and he is, again, effectively taking over the Goose Show. I still believe he might be a Flurkin from the Marvels. Where you going? Or do I want to know? I don't want to know. That guy. Also, no one told me. Oh yeah, I was talking wrestling. Welcome back, Macho Danny Savage, my brother. Oh, Spoopy, Rhea Ripley. Oh yes, yes. I got all kind of shit popping up on my screen now. He must like disconnected my cable there for a second from my iPhone. God, I can't talk. That whatever was in that, I can't even remember. Shit, it hit me for a second. Talking wrestling. Wednesday nights, AEW Dynamite, so I always watch Macho Danny Savage in here. If you know Macho Man, I mean Macho Man Randy Savage, so I've always loved that Macho Danny Savage name. It makes me chuckle, oh yeah. It makes me want to snap into a Slim Jim, brother. That one kind of went south at the end, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I try not to miss a Dynamite. Anytime they come into town, I go. I'm going to try really, really hard to get either ringside or close to it next time. Last time I was there, I was in the stands, like the first row of stands, not the, like on the floor, but the first. So like, I pay attention to the red lights on the camera. Anytime they kick on, I was like, just fun stuff to do. Like if I'm going to be at a show and I know there's cameras going to be on, I'm not going to be an annoying guy like trying to bug people. But like anytime I see the cameras on, I'll be like, hey. Try to catch some poses in. I love going back and watching later and just seeing what kind of dumb shit I did on camera because I don't remember. Or it feels like every time the camera does cut to where we're sitting, like I've got like a cheeseburger in my face or something. I was like, you get like a full zoom in or I'm in the background or some shit like that. This glass right here, for those that are inquiring, let me make it a little more visible. This is what is called a Zenko. This is the Zenko Duo. So this part attaches. Down here, you've got a little chamber. So you can put fun little extracts of things in there. You could also unscrew that if you wanted to and just put a 510 threaded cartridge if you wanted to. And then it's got a couple features on it. So there's a button on the back. I've got an autofill feature on it. So when I tap this guy, it will go to the autofill feature. So what it does is it heats it up to the perfect temperature. And this bitch will go autofill until the batteries die on it. So you have to stop it on your own, or you can just hold the button down and it'll fill it up. But just watching that fill up, like, look at that. Isn't that just cool to watch? And you can leave it, it'll sit there for a good while. So like if you're doing something, you're working on things or whatever else, like it's right there. I believe these retail for around the $250 mark. But if you Google Zenko Duo, you can find these online. But they're fabulous. When it comes to carts and extracts now, this is literally the only thing I do. I have a Puffco. I have some other devices. I've got most devices because I test a lot of things for some people. But the Zenko is, I mean, look how cool you look. Why are you holding it, man? Like, that's just baller. It just looks cool. It's a cool conversation piece. And if you have like a stranger come in your house and that's still sitting out, like, no one's going to bat an eye at it. They'll be like, oh, it must be like a little lantern or something, you know, like a little diffuser. No one's going to give a shit about that or think a second thought of it. So, yeah, I love that little guy right there. So, if anyone's interested in that or want to know more, you can hit me up and I can tell you more. Zenco. Excuse me, God. Zenco. So, like, just like Zen, like peaceful. Code, like an abbreviation for company. Yeah, Zenko Duo. Because this set comes with 2 glasses and some other accessories. But yeah, carts, extracts, flour, you can do all of them in this one device. Extremely portable, USB-C chargeable, turn to a pitch. I didn't mean to do that. Thank you, Charlotte. Good looking out. Yeah, if anyone's ever curious about devices or anything like that, like definitely hit me up. Oh, thank you for reminding me too. I'll have to update. Maybe I can do it right now while I'm in here. But I will update my link tree at some point today, probably after I do this live, if I don't fucking remind me. In the last chat, we talked about maybe doing a Discord, just for anybody that wants to come into my little world, and we can just shoot the shit. We can talk about whatever. All I ask is people be adults. I don't put up with no fucking foolishness and pettiness and he said, she said shit. Like I said, to me, there's no competition. We're all in this together. But if anyone's interested, I will put that link to my Discord into to my link tree, and then please feel free to join, and we will go from there. I told y'all I'd do it, so I will definitely do it. I've got, Danny, I've got one of those B words. I've got a lot of things. But for me, I still like to roll up with paper. I really do prefer that as my medium just because it's so portable. I'm on the road a lot, so it's kind of clutch that way too. But Occasionally it is nice to have. I've got a student glass, the big gravity that you can flip upside down and stuff. But I don't really use that too much because to me that feels like such a big party piece, and I don't do a whole lot of entertaining. But that's one of those like I want like 5 or 6 people around that bitch where you can just pass that hose around before I break it out. So like I really like my little gadgets like this stuff that's really really portable, gets the job done efficiently, and yeah, just paper. Um, Charlotte, I really appreciate that. I will definitely keep that in mind. I'm keeping a lot of people in mind, and if I go any bigger than much bigger than this, I will be surprised. Like I said, this is. I was thinking about a lot of things lately. Doc has definitely inspired me, as I've said before too. But you know, I figure I was going to watch somebody. That's what I do. That's what I was kind of doing in my spare time. I'd get on here and I was, kind of scroll for a bit, and that's kind of how I found Doc and everything too. And I wouldn't even be on today if Doc was on. Like I'm just trying to fill some space, and I know y'all were scrolling like I'd normally be, but I thought like, why not just hop on then? Like if I'm going to watch somebody, somebody might watch me. So that's why I just started getting on here. I don't. Who knows? Shit may change. Obviously, I've changed the setup for this a little bit. I'm trying to work something. I just still don't know exactly what all I want to do or what format. I'm very much experimenting. So if there's things y'all like too, things you love, things you hate, things you just think maybe I could tweak a little bit, like I'm down to listen. I said I really don't have any intent with this except just come in and chilling. But I talked about before too. I do enjoy kind of spreading a message. I will give some more tours of some things. And if anybody that just joined us, I'm so sorry. I did a quick tour of some Ghostbusters stuff, but maybe I'll go through it again one of these days. I'm sure there'll be some repeats of some stuff. Confidence to do live. I understand why people say that. The first live I've done in a long time was with Doc a couple weeks ago on Live Fest, and the only reason I did it was because they were looking for somebody to go live, and I had the ability. So I remember hitting that live button, trying to even figure out how to find Doc so I could send the invite. But man, the whole time, and I don't even know if it showed. I have to go back and look at my own replays. But I just remember my heart was pumping. I felt anxious. I thought I was going to get sick. And then, but again, Doc is one of those personalities and people that I felt comfortable very, very quickly once I had him on screen. And that's me with a lot of stuff. If y'all know me, I'm not afraid to grab a mic and get in front of a crowd. I'm not afraid to go on a very big stage if need be. Stuff like that doesn't really intimidate me, but at the same time, I won't pretend I don't get nerves. And the day I don't get nerves before I do something like that is the day I should probably quit doing it. But I'm one of those Eminem and 8 Mile, Mom Spaghetti, before a big show, before a big event, I'm probably dry heaving somewhere just because I'm so anxious. But the second I get the mic, or the second I get on a stage, or the second the spotlight, or whatever the case may be, it's just it's go time, and it all melts away, and I feel amazing. That's another reason I kind of enjoy doing this too. I like to talk. I realized that a couple years ago. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy the engagement. I think that's why I came into this career path I'm in now. I get to talk to a little over 300 people a day, give or take, at least. Sometimes more, sometimes less, and that's in face to face. So I'm sure that I engage more. So I enjoy that aspect of things. So I'll pop in from time to time. Maybe it does take off. Things in my life tend to take off with a life of their own. Laura, you're asking about the dog that I don't know. And that was a great story, too. Much like a day like today, excuse me, I usually take my days off midweek. This is my weekend right now. This is my Saturday. Tomorrow will be my Sunday, essentially. So it was a Wednesday for sure. And I believe it was in spring. I don't know for sure. It doesn't matter when it was. But I can't remember if I was going to get my coffee yet or just was going to step outside because it was a night. I like to sit on the porch when the weather's nice. And I just again, I think I'm a cat. So I can just sit out there and just watch. So I was sitting on the porch, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I hear something rustling around. And the neighbors across the way, they've got a little terrier dog, and he's cute as shit. So I thought maybe he got off his lead, which is not uncommon. He'll get off the lead. I had to take him home many a time. So I thought Tater was just wandering. His name's Tater. Otherwise, a Tater just wandering around the yard would be weird. But the dog's name is Tater. Tater was wandering around the yard is what I thought. So I didn't give it a second thought. I didn't want to startle him and have him run off. Usually he'll come up to me, and if I can get him, I can just take him home. Well, finally, I just kind of slowly look over, and out of my peripherals, I see this really, really big black dog. And I'm like, oh boy, I don't want to make any sudden movements because this dog is on my porch and this dog is staring at me and I don't know this dog. So I slowly just kind of like, I've been around a lot of animals. I'm a kitty whisperer, as y'all have seen. Very comfortable around animals. They're very comfortable around me. Again, I feel like I'm on my ball bra shit. I can talk to them and stuff. So the dog started becoming very comfortable around me and didn't seem super scared. So I still was cautious. But yeah, I didn't know this dog that showed up. And throughout the day, that whole video is up on my page too. If you want to go see it, I put all the clips up, including some of my ring videos, so you can see the entire saga and what I'm talking about. But this dog had no clue what. At the end of the day, probably I think we spent about 10 hours together. The cops came to the house. There was a whole. It was truly an adventure. And I ended up nicknaming this dog Tiva, short for Sativa, because it was a little bit anxious. But long story short, gal I work with, she offered to take the dog home to her family, and a little over a year now, that dog has been in their forever home with the same family, and I get Tiva updates constantly and continually, and Tiva is doing extremely well. Tiva is living her best life. Tiva has a best friend that looks almost exactly like her. Tiva has 3 adoring boys that are in their teens that love her more than just about anything, and they have a mom that loves them to death. There was also a lot of people, we made a little wish list for Tiva, because I was like, hey, if anybody, because people hooked on to that story. I didn't expect that either. Like, that resonated with a lot of people, which was cool. And I truly was honored to get to spend the day with her. I feel like we knew each other in a past life somehow. So that was a really, really fun day. But like, we had strangers from all over, you know, sending little gifts and stuff to Tiva. So that was an awesome day. I appreciate you asking that, because I haven't got to give a whole lot of updates. Tiva's mama actually works with me. I hate to say for me. They all work with me. But yeah, I get to see her mom all the time. And actually, I'm gonna poke her a little bit, because I've got these videos. I'm gonna send you some videos. I know people do want updates, so maybe I'll bug her again to see if she'll send me some videos so y'all can see how amazing Tiva's doing, how much happier and healthier she looks. Because that sweet baby definitely needed some love when she found me that day. And I'm so glad I was off. I'm so glad something crazy didn't happen. I'm so glad someone didn't take her to the pound or animal control came and got her. Like, I'm forever fortunate that I just happened to be off that day and I had a yard that I could keep her in and keep her safe, and that I had people in my life, again, that pay attention and care enough to want to do something, you know? Because there's a lot of people that can look the other way. I could have looked the other way. I could have kept going. I could have just went and got my coffee that day and left that dog to be stranded, but yeah, no. Now, do I want another dog to ever come up on my porch like that? No, I do not. But, holy shit, Dana, you're in town? I can't go get tacos right this moment. What are you doing tomorrow? I don't expect an answer right now. I am off tomorrow. I have all day tomorrow. You have me at your full disposal tomorrow if you want to do anything at any time tomorrow. You just message me, please, Dana, and tell me when. And then in the evening, I believe Amy will be home too, around 4 or 5, and maybe we can go to dinner or something. You tell me what you want to do. Sorry, that's how excited I got. Dana is one of my favorite fucking human beings on this entire planet. I met her probably through Ghostbusters too. I wouldn't have met her otherwise. She's one of my real life friends and lived here in the Berg with me. Her husband got stationed over in Virginia, so they live over there now, but occasionally she comes home, and she gets home and she's home. So I'm happy. It's been a couple months since I've got to see her, and I'm really ecstatic right now. Tacos, whatever you want, Dana, we will 100% go eat. Follow Dana, too, if you're in here. Smash a like on her. She is really, really cool people, and I can't say enough good about her. Just one of my favorite. When I first met her, I don't think it's anything bad at all. And she probably what she's about to say. Oh my god! But it was at a comic convention. I think it was. Maybe it was one of our charity things. But she was dressed up as a Disney princess, and she is one of the most amazing Disney princesses you will ever meet. But when there's kids that aren't around, my dear and lovely friend Miss Dana swears like a sailor, probably better than me. So when you have this visual of a beautiful princess standing in front of you in full luxury gown, and it's like effity F mother F that, it's amazing. It's just amazing to take in, you know, because I feel like there's always, like, even Disney princesses, when they go back in the castle, Like they're not always like oh my goodness gracious, like sunshines, rainbows, puppy dogs. Like no, they're like, man, get these shoes off me. These bitches hurt. I'm so tired of going around and like kissing babies and shaking hands and stuff. Like I'm done with that for today. So like Dana is probably the truest princess I know. And I don't mean that in any negative way, because she's like really not a princess if you get to know her, but she could totally be a princess. Actually, I think she's more of a queen. You're more of a queen, Dana. I hope you're still in here, because otherwise you just missed my whole little soliloquy and diatribe in my tribute to Dana. But yes, I want tacos. I always want tacos. Spoiler alert. When I took over this location, the lady I worked with prior, she told them, she was like, so hey, I'm leaving, and my government name is Ron. But if Ron ever gets grumpy, just feed him tacos. And that's the best advice, honestly, you could give somebody about me. Play 3-6 Mafia, give him tacos, you know? Hell yeah, Dana. I love you, Dana, for real. You just made my day. That's another reason I love getting on these lives. I had a dude from high school I haven't talked to in 20-something years pop up in here randomly. Dana just surprised the shit out of me. Hell yeah. Spoopy, speaking of smoke breaks, you just reminded me of another story. You talking about a break along those lines. So I was doing a little convention. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. It was Marriott in Kansas City. It was a book convention of all things. I can't remember it. But me and my friend Dennis Butt got invited. His real name is actually Dennis Butt. Dana can confirm. We were invited to be guests. So we're at the convention. And I think I was still smoking cigarettes at the time. If I wasn't, like, I could still be like drawn outside to smoke when somebody else was. But somebody I met at the convention was going to smoke, and I was like, shit, I'll come downstairs with you. We'll go smoke. And we're standing there smoking. George R.R. Martin walks up. Now the lady I was talking to was pretty attractive, so I could see how she could draw a little more eyes than the Ghostbuster. Either way, George R.R. Martin comes up and just starts like chit-chatting with us. He was there as a guest, as an editing, not as far as writing on Game of Thrones, but as an editor. He wasn't signing any Game of Thrones shit while he was there, like specifically. He's like, I'm only signing books I edited while I'm here. But like, yeah, I just have like 5 minutes to talk to George R.R. Martin, and I don't even know what to talk about because I wasn't a big Game of Thrones fan. I only knew about it topically. I don't know if I ever told you that story, Dana. Dana is, I just forgot her fucking name. I'm not the Game of. I see. That's how little I know about Game of Thrones. But the Queen of Drag, Khaleesi. Dana does an amazing Khaleesi. But I didn't know enough at the time to talk smart on Khaleesi. Like I should have lifelined Dana and be like, Dana, hold on, talk to George R.R. Martin about Khaleesi. And then we could have got some stuff straightened out maybe. But yeah, that would just, you used to remind me about like Smoke Break and seeing Mickey Mouse. Like that's kind of how the same thing. I was like, it was really Jordan. He was like walking with his publicist or somebody. It was somebody you could tell that like was his handler of some sort. But yeah, he just hung out with us for like 5 minutes and went about his fucking day. So, I bet there's some really cool book events for Scholastic because I know Scholastic usually rocks with like Clifford the Big Red Dog and stuff too. So that's at least they did. I don't know if they still do. I also remember those book fairs. I still want. I need to go back to one now. My kids are a little bit too. Tori in the house. Sorry, I just saw your name pop up. I love this time of day. All these surprises, great surprises. Tacos are in my routine menu. I'm just catching back up on the taco stuff, and I don't care if they're just ground beef or like taco de carne asada or what. I'll get into some weird tacos too. I don't even mind like taco de lengua and stuff like that occasionally. It just kind of depends. But yeah, I love tacos. I love them. I love them. And I love like true, but again, I'll take any taco, but I'd say the more authentic, because when I was stationed down the Mexico border, like I would go to Mexico, and I didn't know Mexican food was until I moved down there. Everything else was just a facsimile, a weird interpretation, you know? But yeah, the first time I had like a real taco, I was like, what is all this flavor? It doesn't just taste like ground beef and fucking cumin, you know? Yeah. God, fucking tacos sound so good. But it sounds like a little taco gathering tomorrow if all goes well. Taco Thursday is on tap. Whoa. There's a new taco place, Dane. I haven't physically been there. It's where what was the name of the fucking place? I forgot the name of it because the owner turned out to be a shithead, but their tacos rocked. It was over on West Pine. But anyway, it's a new one now, and they have one called the Vampiro Taco. That bitch set me on fire, and the next day it set the other side of me on fire too. But it was one of the most delicious tacos. I don't know how they make their hot sauce, but that shit was incredible, absolutely incredible. Speaking of all this talk of tacos, I think I'm starting to salivate a little bit. So, what's up, Chanel? Welcome to the party. Michelle, I enjoyed doing, sounds about to clip off and more people are jumping in. I can stick around a few more minutes. I really enjoyed doing the battles with Doc. I said I was just jumping in to help, but it turned into way, way more, especially that Saturday night. That was kind of my intent, too, of trying to get on live with Doc on Saturday night. I really wanted to help people decompress a little bit. That's one of the things I also like to do. If you've been, especially in TikTok on Doc's lives, like, I just start churning out jokes and stuff. Because sometimes they can get a little serious, it can get a little tense. And I think at the end of Live Fest, I think a lot of people were definitely exhausted, feeling certain ways, spent in a lot of ways. So I really just wanted to get on and kind of hype people up a bit and just added some silliness. Like I was planning on bringing, oh, he's over. What did I do with him? He moved again. Oh, he's right behind me. And Spoopy's still in here. Like I just wanted to bring like Snowcat in and do a little bit of a puppet show a little bit. Those kind of things. But it ended up turning into something way, way, way more. So I was really, really glad for that. And I had an absolute friggin' amazing time. As for going to L.A. one day, Spoopy, I have a lot of friends in L.A. From over the years. Some from actually Kansas City, some through other. I've got a friend that's a voice actor out there. Another friend who just moved out there. I've got a couple friends in my industry that are out there. So I just got to find time. I need to go to a lot of places. But L.A. is definitely on my list because I just want to see so much. I think it's the Fox building, but whatever was Nakatomi Plaza and Die Hard, that's on the list of things I want to go see. I obviously want to see Hook and Ladder 8 up in Tribeca, New York City, which is the Ghostbusters firehouse. It actually is their firehouse. They use it day to day. Yeah, I want to go do a lot of that stuff, and I definitely want to eat. I'm a food guy. I love to travel and eat, and that's one thing I miss about the military. I would go on what they call TDY or temporary duties all the time. And I love to just like while I'm there, I'm going to find every place I can eat. I wanted to find like a Mexican joint. I wanted to find like a barbecue joint, like all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm still about that. So hopefully in the next year, I'm trying to level some more things out. These past 2 years have been a very, very weird time in my career in a good way. Not anything wrong, but my industry has changed significantly. When we first started, we were medical only, and it was still a lot of challenges. Plus, I had to deal with the challenge of starting, staffing, training a store from ground up where there was nothing to begin with. So that first year was a lot of figuring shit out. In the second year, we were able to, in that first year too, we were trying to pass laws to make us recreational or adult use. So in February this past year, we went adult use. And so everything that we knew, we just threw it out the window just about, because we kind of had to start over. Everything kind of changed. But the good news is in the past 3 or 4 months, and I didn't even tell my team what I was doing, I slowly started rolling us back to those same procedures and everything we did during the med times, because I feel it was a better overall procedures. We just had to modify it for a 400% increase that came overnight in business. But now, because they are such amazing fucking rock stars, my entire crew is the best team I've ever had in my life, and I'm so proud of them. I've been able to really, because I've increased my staffing too. They're not doing it with the old numbers that they had in med, but through a staffing increase, I'm able to pull back a lot of those measures and work smarter instead of harder. And we're able to do things so much more efficiently and so much easier. And that's also taken a lot of stuff off my shoulders and off of my assistant GM shoulders and my lead shoulders as well. So I'm hoping in these next few months and this next year, some of that will be able to fan out a little bit more, and I'll be able to do, maybe a few more things for Panda. I love everything that I do, and I give up a lot of time. But if you know me, the first year that I worked for the company, and even then some, no real time off. I didn't take a day off. I didn't take a vacation day. And not because anyone made me. Y'all have all heard the adage, when you love what you do, you don't work a day. Same kind of thing. I haven't worked a day in 2.5 years. That first probably 2 months, I worked damn near around if it wasn't sleeping, I was trying to get stuff spun up and ready, just because that's who I am, and I loved what I was doing. And I had an amazing partner, Sarah. She doesn't get on TikTok, but the person I launched the store with, her name is Sarah. and I couldn't have done what I did without her, and I couldn't have done it without this team. But like me and Sarah, like we kicked some fucking ass for a good month and a half, and spun everything up. But there's been a lot of challenges, and we've got to build a lot of things as we went. So things that we developed have now become procedure or state standards. So I'll forever be proud of that. But I'm also ready to kind of like. I need some time off, and I really not so much that I need it, but I'm ready to take a little bit of time off. I think, and maybe do a little bit of traveling, go see those friends I've been talking to, maybe take some people up. What's up, Matt Blackstock? Much love, brother. Top 10 in the cheer wars last I saw. Go vote for my man Matt Blackstock down here. If you get a moment or two, give him smash him a like as well. Chanel, I know you have good tacos and stuff in Texas. I've lived in Texas quite a bit, so I've lived in Del Rio, Texas, San Antonio, Texas. I feel like San Angelo just because I spent a lot of time there. Wichita Falls. Did I say Abilene? I can't remember if I did or not. But I've been here, there, and everywhere. Tori, I forget where people are sometimes, and I would honestly, I may take you up on that, like for real. I know I say that, but as silly as it may not sound silly to you, I think you see, I'd want to like just do it not by myself. I mean, I'd want you as a guy, but like I don't want my kids or anybody to do it. This is one time I want to be selfish, and I want to come down there, and I just want to go to Disney World by myself. I don't know why I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, but like I want to do that for me. I think that's something I want to do for me. But yeah, back to barbecue and food. I don't know where that little emotion came from. Holy shit! But yeah, I want to do that really, really bad. I know how to reach you. I don't know if I ever gave you my number, but if I didn't, I will reach out to you and I will let you have my number. Not let you have it, but I would like you to have my number. Just for future reference. But yeah, Chanel barbecue and South Station down in Del Rio. Believe me, and that's kind of where I hone my barbecue skills. Originally Tennessee boy, Memphis barbecue is really where my heart's at. But living down there, I quickly learned the Texas styles of things. And I don't think I ever had brisket, at least to my knowledge, until I moved to Texas. So traveling around the world, traveling around the country, barbecue is one of the things I really seek out. Even in Korea. I mean, yeah, there's Korean barbecue too, but I found some actual like places that learn. And that's kind of how Korean barbecue started. They learned from the GIs, just like how in like Korean fried chicken and stuff. They learned from the GIs back in the day. A lot of people don't know that stuff. There's a good video out there. Alton Brown talks about it, but especially the African-American GIs back in the day when they were on Peninsula, they're like teaching people these tips and tricks on how to make the fried chicken. And you can kind of tell it with the culture and the food and a lot of other things over time, which I've always kind of loved. Korea was one of my best years of my life. I can't wait to go back. I will say this, Chanel, no, you do not have the best barbecue. I enjoy a lot of it. I love Kansas City barbecue too. Burnt ends, phenomenal. And I know it's a preference, but Memphis barbecue at the end of the day is where it's at. I truly do love that good pulled pork, baby back ribs. Oh, yeah, I make a pulled pork and some baby back ribs both that are, I'll put those up against anybody in the world. I truly would compete against anybody on my barbecue, just on those. I'm not going to act like I can do anything. It definitely is a Texas thing. I love Texas barbecue, don't get me wrong, but I can't give that title up to Memphis 901 for life. So yeah. Spoopy, I believe I'm going to need to see maybe a picture of this Baby Yoda backpack. So I like Baby Yoda, all kind of stuff. I'm surprised I haven't got more Baby Yoda stuff from people this year. Usually people are quick to give me a Baby Yoda thing for Christmas, and I'm never mad at that. But I just haven't got as many as I kind of expected this year. I hope you still love me. Shoot. Speaking of barbecue stuff, it was like 2 years ago. I saw somebody else talking about it, so I decided, like, I'm going to fucking try this and see what it is. Some people call it poor man's burnt ends. I just called it smoked bologna. But I went to Walmart, and they had one of those big bologna chubs that's not sliced up, and it was like $8-9 for this thing. And I was like, all right, bet. All you do is like score it kind of like cubes, almost like, now you don't cut it all the way up, you just kind of score it around it, so it looks kind of like a little pineapple almost. And then I had some mustard, some barbecue sauce. I just kind of like painted on that bitch. I threw that in the smoker, I can't remember how long, but I pulled that out, and you would never have guessed in your life it was bologna. It was one of the best things I've ever had. Like, I wouldn't eat it all the time, but like as it's like a little treat or a snack, or you got people over as guests. Like, I was like, that, if you wouldn't tell people about bologna, they'd call you a fucking liar to your face. So yeah, I enjoy barbecue in all its forms. I've never had Jollibee, Spoopy. I have had a lot of friends tell me about it, and I've got a lot of friends from the Philippines. And I guess it's more of I think it is a Filipino thing. I don't know if you know, but I believe it is a Filipino thing. And I know there's more locations in the U.S. now, but I've always been intrigued by Jollibee. I can't lie. I remember that at least from like 2005, 2006. Boy, my Rogold, he's Filipino, and he would just talk about, and that's when we were in Korea, he would talk about Jollibee like on the ray. I can see the mascot in my head right now even. Like, it's crazy that it pops up. So yeah, I need to come do some food tours. I definitely need to come do some food tours. Trying to think if there's any amazing food places around here. I mean, there's a lot of little barbecue joints to go to, but there's not just like one place that stands out off top. And I will never, ever, ever say one place has the best barbecue, because I don't think any one place is the best. One place is better this and that kind of a deal. That's about as good as it gets. So, yeah. But yeah, I think that probably is a good time. I need to probably eat something and get some more caffeine in me. But I don't even know how long I've been rocking. I ain't been paying attention to time. Thank you all again for any gifts, any likes, all that stuff really does mean the world to me. Like I said, your time is priceless. So the fact that you choose to give it to me while I'm sitting here just talking means the world to me. I probably will continue to do some more of these lives here and there. I don't think I'll ever be able to do an everyday thing, at least not on a regularly scheduled basis, at least not right now. But yeah, when I definitely have some free time, I'll hop on here, because I keep seeing a lot of the same names hop on, and I love that. That really makes my heart warm up. When I see these names in here, it means a ton. Thank you much love, Chanel. Appreciate you as always. Cool, Spoopy. I will take a look on there and see what it looks like. If not, we'll figure it out. So yeah. All my Discord and everything else is on there. I don't have it. I need to put Discord on your stuff on this laptop. This laptop might as well be a bait computer too. There's pretty much nothing on it other than Chrome. I just do everything through their web versions of stuff right now. But yeah, I'm going to go apply some head on directly to the forehead, just like behind me there. And I'll catch y'all later. And if any of y'all are live later, I'll try to pop on. But yeah, I don't have a fancy sign off just yet, but what I always say in all my lives, and I'll probably keep closing with this. Until next time, and as always, it's your boy Panda. Thanks for the love. Follow and smash and the likes and the hearts and all those other things that people say at the end. I love that y'all tuned in. Thank you. That's a half heart. There's a full heart. And love y'all too. And like, you should probably go eat some lunch too and drink some water and make a tinkle if you haven't, because it's not good on your kidneys to not go make tinkles. Charlotte, have an amazing day. Anybody I missed that's still in here, much love. Appreciate y'all more than you know. And I'm going to quit rambling and actually hit the sign off button. Okay.